Hi, today's assignment is to give a speech on what family and consumer science career and technical education is and how it impacts businesses, communities, and who it benefits. So let's learn a little bit about what career and technical education is. So it's the teaching in many different fields that kids can come out and work in the workforce or further their education. It engulfs things like agricultural education, trade and industry, family and consumer science, business, health sciences. Pretty much anything out there that's a life skill or a skill that's a basic skill that needs to be improved upon. And we start here in middle school really, but then get really more into depth in high school, but then be able to take other courses that expand upon their knowledge and their basic skills. So for me, I live this every day. I'm a family and consumer science education teacher at a high school, and I actually teach Foods 1 course, which is not just about cooking, but it's about the life skills of what nutrients do for us in our body, what helps us, what hurts us, what's good for us, what's bad for us, how to eat healthier, and then we use those cooking labs to develop those skills and really hone in on how those nutrients really work. We use the science behind food to teach them about what it means to eat healthy or to eat correctly. I also teach a class called Teen Living, which is basically Life Skills 101. We go from everything from personal development into financial management, into writing resumes and having job readiness skills. And then we also go into child development, interior design. We do some cooking in that class as well. And we go into sewing. And it's an interesting class because it teaches these kids the basic nuts and bolts of life. And so from that course, then they can expand upon into other career technical education courses. So if they like family consumer science and they want to do something more in the personal development field, then they can stay and take a child development course or take a Foods 1, Foods 2 course, or they can take interior design or apparels, marketing and management, whatever they really are interested in, and they can delve deeper in and kind of figure out what those people do in life. What does an interior designer do? Do they just look at the walls and say, I think that wall will look good blue? No, they learn all about those basic skills that you have to have in these jobs and then how you can use them in real life. Kids are coming out of these classes. For example, students are going into college after taking digital media classes, and they're ahead of the curve. They've already taken the course on Adobe Photoshop and have mastered it. Some of them are walking out with certifications to hand to an employer and say, I've already taken this test. I already have got certified in it. I'm ready to work. That's one of the greatest things about family and consumer science education. But let's talk about who it benefits. Like, who does it really benefit? Well, it benefits everybody. You know, we always say when we're younger and in school that we don't need math, we don't need science, we don't need to know English. But through family and consumer science education, we teach these kids the basics of, well, you can't give change back if you don't know how to do subtraction. You can't understand how flour and baking soda work together to make something if you didn't have science in the background. And so we take those things and we use them to benefit students, not just their daily life, but what they're going to do for the rest of their life. So we help with them getting ready if they want to be an entrepreneur. We teach them what it means to be an entrepreneur. What are the legal paths that you have to take? What's the paperwork you have? How do you start a business? Where do you come up with the money to start a business? And then we send them out to kind of the real world, to do maybe job shadowing or an apprenticeship at a business where they can use the skills they've learned in class directly with that business, and then potentially have a job when they graduate from high school. We also benefits the community because not only are we teaching them these skills, but we're bringing in people from the community, from the business world, from any of these fields that we kind of comprehend in CTE, and we say, this is what you can do. Here's living proof that you can make it as this. This is what your job entails. And so we're building students to become professionals, and we're giving them the basic life skills to start on a better path, a bigger path, where they can be very successful, whether that be in science or mathematics, or whether that be as a plumber or an electrician or an agricultural scientist or a health scientist, if you want to be a nurse. We're starting here at Career and Technical Education. It's the foundation of everything that we can build upon to make our lives what we want it to be. So, yeah, I live this every day of my life. I came from industry. I used to work in foods, and then I worked in child development. And then one day I realized that I can share these experiences with kids and show them a better path than what I had to take, and go from job to job and see what I liked, what I didn't like, and I can kind of help them and guide them so they have a stronger foundation of what is out there for them to explore and become. So that's how we all become one. Career and Technical Education, community partnerships, and businesses. We train the kids, the students, and then the students go out and they do the internships or they do the job shadowing, and then they eventually become part of the community, and hopefully in a beneficial way for everyone, especially themselves in their personal development and career development. Thank you. Have a good night.